In this section, we will cover where it is available for download. It is available for download at this link. It is free and it is for Power Pivot 2013. This add-in performs a set of rules, checks against a set of rules to determine if it can reduce the size. Your results may vary. Why do I say this? In certain workbooks, it finds the ability and matches those rules to reduce the size. In others, it does not. The demos in this section are two. One covers installing the workbook with Workbook Size Optimizer add-in, and the other one involves optimizing a workbook with the add-in itself. We will be using a provided workbook that has been upgraded to 2013, Power Pivot 2013. Let's go ahead and start with the demos. Let's start by opening the folder Workbook Size Optimizer and choosing accordingly to our CPU which one adapts to our needs. We're using 64 bits in this case, so for me it would be this one on Windows 8. We're going to right click and install it. I click next. I'm just going to install it for myself, and I click next again. Once more next, and it has completed. You won't see any icons on the desktop because it is an add-in. For that to happen now, we should go into Excel. We open a blank workbook and notice Workbook Optimizer is already there. After successfully installing the Workbook Size Optimizer add-in, we're going to attempt to utilize it. For those purposes, I have the TestW workbook and a backup. As always recommended, keep some backups in case anything happens. Nothing fancy in this workbook that has been created. We're going to open it and take a look at it. It's just a connection towards SQL Server. Why? The workbook will not work without connections that are external, meaning if you have data model formed by worksheets in your workbook, that's not going to work. And it doesn't have to be exclusive to SQL. It just means external to your workbook. We're going to go and look at the connections and notice that it's indicating Northwind. Great. Let's go ahead and switch back. We're going to go ahead and close this pivot window and attempt to start the optimizer. We click on the add-in and start. It says there are unsaved changes, so let's cancel and save that and attempt once more. Notice that it pops up correctly. We're going to go with the detect the best optimization rules for my workbook. You could also, for your own purposes, test with let me choose the rules myself, in which you will have some choices, some drop downs that you can select from and determine which choices are best for you, depending on the rules that have been selected and applied. I'm going to click next and notice it's going to create a new optimized file for the workbook. It's also indicating the column will be removed from the data model. And if you hover, it tells you why. Let's click next, and it's doing its work. Notice that it has completed successfully, indicating that the column was removed and that it was reduced from 529.73 kilobytes to 509.71 kilobytes, and has also made a backup of the original workbook. We're going to click Finish and complete the process. Close the workbook and take a look. That is correct. It created a backup of our workbook. In some cases, depending on your hardware requirements on your PC, I've noticed that the add-in does not seem to accurately close memory or has some memory leaks. In those cases, just reboot and you will get some strange errors such as H results, message boxes here and there once inside you're in Excel after you completed the workbook optimization. So once again, just close everything, your workbooks are fine, and reboot. Everything should work properly afterwards. That is how you would use the Workbook Size Optimizer. I encourage you to go ahead and look at the other options that we did not look in this demo.